Now in today's video, I'm going to discuss a theme and variation, and that is area 2 of study 1 of the suggested listening. We're going to look at what a theme and variation is, and this is a theme by a cellist that Mozart used, and I'm going to start looking at this theme. Now what I've marked in here is the balanced phrases, typical of the classical time. You see that it's in D major, homophonic, melody in the right hand. I have a very simple accompaniment played in the treble clef there. Definite cadence. Now a minuet always has an A and a B and an A section. So there's the A section, it's repeated. We have a B section, it doesn't modulate, but it starts in the dominant. Look at that arpeggio figure. Another arpeggio figure. Then I see a little ostinato pattern there. I also see it in the beginning. It plays in thirds. It's still homophonic. And then it goes back to the A section. So a minuet is always in A, B, A. At 9 variations on a minuet by Duport, Kegel number 573, and it's a set of variations for solo piano. So we don't have other instruments, only the piano playing. And Duport was a cellist of the late 18th and early 19th century. And with each variation, we're going to see Mozart's creativity, how he subtly altered the original melody and the harmony in unique ways. And he composed this in 1789. And they are known for their cheerful and playful character, and only one will be in a minor. The rest will all be in major. The variation showcases his ability to transform a simple melody into a diverse set of musical ideas, demonstrating his mastery of counterpoint, harmony, and melody. So let's see what is a theme and variation. Imagine you're telling a story, but each time that you tell it, you change something. The mood, the tempo, even the words. We don't have words here. So we're going to look at the elements of music, how we can put variations to a theme. And that's exactly what we have with a theme and variation. It's like dressing up the same doll in different outfits. It's still the same doll, and every time you have a new look. So the theme is the main tune or the melody, and in this case it's by Duport, and variations, the same melody is repeated, and every time something changes. It can be changed in music. So I want you to always think of your elements in music, whether you describe the Baroque or the classical or the romantic or 20th century, always think of the Dr. Smith. And I've made previous videos on the elements of music. So I can change the melody by adding notes, turning it around, adding embellishments. I can change the rhythm, make it faster, make it slower, use dotted rhythms. I can change the tempo, the speed, play it slower, play it faster. And one of the variations we will see that he makes it slower. The dynamics, I can have some louder and some softer, and we know that in the classical era that they wrote in the dynamics. Articulation, he can play around with legato and staccato, maybe marcato as well. The harmony can be changed. The key can be changed. It can move to a subdominant key or a dominant key. And in this case, we see that it moves to a minor key in one of the variations. The instrument can be changed, but in this case, it doesn't change. It stays with the solo piano. And the texture, we can have layers, less layers, more layers. We can have homophonic most of the time. It can change to a call and response. Imitation can be added. And what is a minuet? Now, a minuet is a slow, elegant dance in 3/4 time, like a gentle 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 feel. It started as a chord dance in France and became a favorite form in classical music. Composers like Mozart, Haydn, and Beethoven used it often in their symphonies, sonatas, and string quartets. Started by looking at the theme. It's important that you know the foundation of this whole composition, that you see that, and then you can discuss the variations. So we're going to listen for a graceful minuet in 3 beats per bar. So it's in 3/4 time. That's a characteristic of a minuet. Balanced phrases is a classical feature. Clear melody on top and accompaniment. I showed that to you. Elegant and regular rhythms. I see the ABA structure, and it starts in D major, and it's relatively simple and elegant. I'll also hand out the sheet music, and this is marked. So pause the video here and look at everything that is marked in, because that is the foundation of the whole piece. Variation 1, I'm going to mention some of the changes. We will see that the right hand plays faster notes. You can already see that. Added chromatic notes. The A section of the left hand remains the same. It's exactly the same cadences. And look out for that ostinato patterns. And we have thirds in the left hand. That's going to be added now. The texture stays classical way, melody on top, accompaniment below. And the left hand plays in the treble clef for the whole variation. You see that in the B section that the left hand is now different. I see that sequences, I see chromatic notes. The right hand is quite busy, and the A returns with the left hand playing exactly the same as in the theme. In 2, we will see a lot of chordal structure. Now the left hand becomes quite busy. Arpeggio patterns we will see there. And then we will hear a psi motive. And a psi motive was classical composers like Mozart and Haydn and Beethoven. They loved using psi motives to show sadness, longing, or tenderness. And it's a 2-note pattern that sounds like a person sighing. I'm going to show it to you just now. So in the left hand, we have a more active role. You have to play rapid 16th note. The right hand continues with a melody, but we have chords added. And in the B section, we will see more increased ornamentation, and we also see decorative notes. And the melody is more decorated, but still easy to follow. So if I go on there, you will see the thirds played there. We have sequences. We have legato marked in. And then there we see the psi motive. Da, da, da. Okay. And it's quite busy, this variation. In variation 3, both hands are involved. The B section, we have thirds again. It's lighter in texture, but we have more of a communication between the two. We have a more ornamented melody with added grace notes like there, embellishments. We see the difference between legato and staccato. We have the hands copying each other. We have imitation, and both hands are busy. And the 3rd note patterns in the right hand, arpeggio patterns in the left hand especially, and light in texture. But we still have very clear cadences. And there you can see an example of how the hands copy each other. So if I scroll on, you will see the 3rd pattern. There I see a completely new rhythmical pattern. Ornamentation, embellishments, and the hands, they're in communication, and the difference between legato and staccato. 4, we have triplet rhythms for the first time. So we have rhythmical contrast, and it's a lightness and a flow that's added. Still graceful with the communication between the two hands. It feels like a dance. The melody sounds more playful. We have a variety in articulation. We have faster rhythmical movement, and it's a thinner texture. And we have a lot of playing in thirds and sixths. And here you see that the left hand copies what the right hand has done. Now with this section here, we see chromatic passages, we see lots of staccatos. The right hand and the left hand is busy, and there it returns to the A with a triplet rhythm. 5 is characterized by a lively and playful character, faster rhythms, more active ornamentation. You see it there with the turns and the embellishments. It still has the same harmony of the first theme. And the classical balance is still there, even with all these added excitement. And the left hand has a wider register. I want you to mark how it plays in the treble clef and in the bass clef. And watch out for sequences and faster triplet rhythms. I see one there. And the octave pattern in the left hand with the cadence points. You see it there. So if I scroll down, you see sequences. Again, a cadence points with the octaves, the faster rhythm, the turns, and the embellishments. 6 is your more reflective and lyrical variation. It's in a tonic minor in D minor, softer dynamics. It sounds sad, and you see that the left hand is quite supportive with broken chords and with solid chords. It looks very homophonic, and we have the embellishments and the turns. We have thin texture, and sometimes we have passages, scalic patterns there, and it is in the minor. It's the sad one. Variation 7 goes back to D major, and I can see a lot of octave movement in both hands. They're both busy. Sometimes the texture is a little bit thinner. I again have chordal playing there, and I see that copying of the hands there, silent cadences, lots of octave movement, and you can mark in all your octaves there, and the hands are quite busy, and it is as if they talk to each other the whole time. So this is quite a busy one. Variation 8 is the slow one. You can see that is the only slow one. We have quite a complicated rhythm here. And the texture is quite thin, still homophonic, and we see embellishments there, and this is the slow one of the variations. Now in variation 9, the time signature changes to 2 times, so I want you to mark that in. It's marked allegro, and this will include a coda, and you will remember that we have discussed a coda. That is the end, it means tail. And I want you to look for chromatic octaves in the left hand, a dominant pedal that I'm going to show you, and the dominant 7th. And it will end with a tempo primo section, reminding us of the original theme. So we have the A section there. You see a nice example of Alberti bass, clear cadence. The B section starts there. I see the psi motive again there. Sforzando there, go back to piano, and then the A section starts again there. Section will finish there, and then Mozart added a coda, and you see examples of sequences there. I have the dominant pedal note in my left hand, that long A, first the high one going to the low one. Yes, and lots of chromatic notes are used here. With a dominant 7th, and let's quickly look at the notes there. A, C sharp, E, G, A. So that is the dominant 7th of D, with a nice pattern there, quite difficult, and it ends with a trill marked adagio, and then back to the tempo primo, reminding us of the theme there, and it's shorter in this case. And I want you to listen to quite a few recordings where you see the piano players playing this, and also ones with sheet music. And I want you to really go through everything in your score that makes it classical, and know how I can change a theme to make variations. Good luck with your studies.